This action includes the threat of violence as well as other threatening behaviors that create an intimidating, hostile, or abusive environment. We have workplace slash organizational violence is an action or threat of physical violence, harassment, sexual harassment, intimidation, bullying, offensive jokes, or other threatening behavior by a coworker or associate that occurs in a person's place of employment or while a person is working. Hello, my name is Marc Drouinaud Jr. If you're new here, I do cyber-related videos. Now, what is an insider threat? I'm going to cover it. Now, this is courtesy of CISA.gov, and CISA stands for Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, so they are a reputable source. So, an insider is any person who has or had authorized access to or knowledge of an organization's resources, including personnel, facilities, information, equipment, networks, and systems. Examples of an insider may include a person the organization trusts, including the employees, organization members, and those whom the organization has given sensitive information and access. Next, we have a person given a badge or access device identifying them as someone with regular or continuous access, right? Could be a contractor, a vendor, a custodian, or a repair person, right? Next, we have a person to whom the organization has supplied a computer or network access. Insider threat is the potential for an insider to use their authorized access or understanding of an organization to harm that organization. This harm can include malicious, complacent, or unintentional acts that negatively affect the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of the organization, its data, personnel, or facilities. External stakeholders and customers of DHS may find this generic definition better suited and adaptable for their organization's use. The Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, defines insider threat as the threat that an insider will use his or her authorized access wittingly or unwittingly to do harm to the department, mission, resource, personnel, facilities, information, equipment, networks, or systems. This threat can manifest as damage to the department through the following insider behaviors: espionage, terrorism, unauthorized disclosure of information, corruption, including participation in transnational organized crime, sabotage, workplace violence, intentional or unintentional loss of degradation of departmental resources and capabilities, right? We have unintentional threat. Negligence, which is an insider of this type, exposes an organization to a threat through carelessness. Negligent insiders are generally familiar with security and or IT policies, but choose to ignore them, creating risk for the organization. Examples include allowing someone to piggyback through a secure entrance point, misplacing or losing a portable storage device containing sensitive information, and ignoring messages to install new updates and security patches. We have the next type of insider is accidental. An insider of this type mistakenly causes an unintended risk to an organization. Organizations can successfully work to minimize accidents, but they will occur, right? They cannot be completely prevented, but those that occur can be mitigated. Examples include mistyping an email address and accidentally sending a sensitive business document to a competitor, unknowingly or inadvertently clicking on a hyperlink, right? Opening an attachment that contains a virus within a phishing email, or improperly disposing of sensitive documents. We have intentional threats. Intentional threats are actions taken to harm an organization for personal benefit or to act on a personal grievance. The intentional insider is often synonymously referred as a malicious insider. The motivation is personal gain or harming the organization. For example, many insiders are motivated to get even due to unmet expectations related to a lack of recognition, which is maybe a promotion, bonuses, desirable travel, or even termination. Their actions include leaking sensitive information, harassing associates, sabotaging equipment, or perpetrating violence. Others have stolen proprietary data or intellectual property in the false hope of advancing their careers. We have other threats. We have collusive threats, which is a subset of malicious insider threats. Is collusive threats where one or more insiders collaborate with an external threat actor to compromise an organization. These incidents frequently involve cybercriminals recruiting an insider or several insiders to enable fraud, intellectual property, theft, espionage, or a combination of the three. We have third-party threats, which is additionally, third-party threats are typically contractors or vendors who are not formally members of an organization, but who have been granted some level of access to facilities, systems, networks, or people to complete their work. These threats may be direct or indirect threats. Okay, we have direct threats are individuals who act in a way that compromises the targeted organization. Indirect threats are generally flaws in systems that expose resources to unintentional or malicious threat actors. So, insider threats manifest in various ways. Those ways are violence, espionage, sabotage, threat, and cyber acts, right? Expressions of insider threat are defined right now, right? We have expressions of insider threat. We have violence. This action includes the threat of violence as well as other threatening behaviors that create an intimidating, hostile, or abusive environment. We have workplace / organizational violence is an action or threat of physical violence, harassment, sexual harassment, intimidation, bullying, offensive jokes, or other threatening behavior by a coworker or associate that occurs in a person's place of employment or while a person is working. We have terrorism as an insider threat is an unlawful use of or threat of violence by employees, members, or others closely associated with an organization against that organization, right? Terrorism's goal is to promote a political or social objective. We have espionage. Espionage is the covert or illicit practice of spying on a foreign government, organization, entity, or person to obtain confidential information for military, political, strategic, or financial advantage. Economic espionage is the covert practice of obtaining trade secrets from a foreign nation, right? So we have all forms and types like, financial, business, scientific, technical, economic, or engineering information and methods, right? Government espionage is covert intelligence gathering activities by one government against another to obtain political or military advantage. It can also include government spying on corporate entities such as consulting firms, think tanks, or munition companies, right? Government espionage is also referred to as intelligence gathering. We have criminal espionage, which involves a U.S. citizen betraying U.S. government secrets to foreign nations. We have sabotage, which is sabotage describes deliberate actions to harm an organization's physical or virtual infrastructure, including non-compliance with maintenance of IT procedures, contamination of clean spaces, physically damaging facilities, or deleting code to prevent regular operations. We have physical sabotage, which is taking deliberate actions aimed at harming an organization's physical infrastructure, like facilities or equipment. We have virtual sabotage, which is taking malicious actions through technical means to disrupt or stop organizations' normal business operations. We have theft. Theft is the simple act of stealing, whether money or intellectual property. Financial crime is an unauthorized taking or illicit use of a person's business or organization's money or property with the intent to benefit from it. We have intellectual property theft is the theft or robbery of an individual's or organization's ideas, inventions, or creative expressions, including trade secrets and proprietary products, even in the concepts or items being stolen originated from the thief. Right? We have cyber digital threat, right? Which is digital includes theft, espionage, violence, and sabotage of anything related to technology, virtual reality, computers, devices, or the internet. We have unintentional threats, are the non-malicious exposure of an organization's IT infrastructure, systems, and data that causes unintended harm to an organization, right? Examples could be phishing emails or malvertising, right? We have unintentional we have intentional threats, are malicious actions performed by hostile insiders who use technical means to disrupt or halt an organization's regular business operations, identifying IT weaknesses, gain protected information, or otherwise further an attack plan via access to IT systems. This action can involve changing data or inserting malware or other pieces of offensive software to disrupt systems and networks. Please feel free to watch, like, and comment other videos on this channel. Subscribe now.